If you're an ADA holder, you're going to want to pay attention to this video. Really cool tweet coming out of Messari Crypto and a report that I want to go over in relation to ADA. Before we even dig into that, for just reference throughout the entirety of this video, from a cycle perspective, I think it's important as we evaluate this data to understand, at least from my perspective, what I think where we are in terms of a timeline perspective of cycles, right? So Bitcoin halving, you can see this blue line over here, 2024, and we are right here, right? Prior to this next Bitcoin halving. In comparison to the last cycle, that brings us to right around September area prior to that last halving, right? So just to give you an idea, in terms of halvings, that's where we are in terms of cycles. In terms of bull markets, the bull market, November 2020, for my data, is right around here. So in terms of the bull market starting, we're looking at like somewhere over here. Just to give you a reference as we dig into all of this data that we're going to look at. And we'll revisit this chart as we go along just to kind of remind ourselves. But here's the tweet from Messari. State of Cardano Q2 2023. With a dedicated community of users and developers, Cardano has demonstrated staying power. That is a striking statement coming from Messari. And we're going to dig into this report and really evaluate this data that they're laying out, at least some of it. The reason I say it's so striking is because Messari hasn't always been so fair to Cardano. And by the way, they're kind of this crypto research and analysis firm. They cover a ton of crypto. They offer so many insights in terms of the data on chain, all that good stuff. But I say they haven't always been fair, and I'll show you an example right here. This was back in 2021, in the middle of the bull market, June 2021. You can see they just tweeted having a moment, and they just snapshotted all the cryptos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the gains, right? We're right in the middle of bull market. All those gains are there, and look what's missing. ADA's missing. And I actually retweeted it at the time in June 2021. I said, did Messari seriously remove ADA? What's pitiful is that their site says that they provide reliable data and market intelligence for crypto investors and professionals. And I want to take a break. I need to chill out with the drama a little bit. I'm rereading this right now. What's pitiful, I use the word pitiful. It's just crypto. And that's something, as I mature in this space, I need to remember. This is the exact shenanigans within crypto that makes me extra excited about Cardano. So while overly dramatic for sure, that actually is true. It is, and it has been, just this disregard of Cardano, and we see it still, right? Cardano's a ghost chain, all that stuff. It has been that disregard that has made me very bullish, because I've seen, and many of you also have seen, what's been being built, right? And we're actually going to dig into the report now, and wait till you see this data. So hit that like button right now, everybody, if you're an ADA holder, if you're out there, and I really appreciate it. So let's go into this report that they laid out. There's their tweet. Let's click into the report and let's look at some of these things. So state of Cardano Q2 2023. There's just certain things I'm going to go over. I'm not going to go over this entire report. I want to just lay the groundwork. A few important things. As many of you know, Cardano is a proof of stake smart contract network launched in 2017. Many of you stake your ADA with a CCV pool, and I'm extremely grateful for all of your support. It's been just so fun over the years on my crypto journey with you all. The other thing is this. Cardano's development is methodical and deliberate, and this is something a lot of people have a little bit of trouble with, that slow, methodical approach to building a blockchain. And that's simply because if you think about smart contracts, they were not enabled until Alonzo hard fork in 2021, over 4 years after the network launched. The extended unspent transaction output, the EUTXO accounting model, enables native token transfer, scalability, and decentralization. To put it simply, this model, if we can take the programmability of Ethereum and we can take the security of Bitcoin and we can put them together, this is the EUTXO in simple terms. This is Cardano. This is what's been being built. Cardano has offered liquid staking and economic models to incentivize decentralization. This report is very long. It goes over a ton of different data, what the ecosystem is doing. Transaction fees, what are they doing, right? Transaction fees increased 8.5%. So this entire report, I think from a macro perspective in its entirety, is extremely bullish, but there are pieces of data that show maybe a slowdown in terms of certain segments of Cardano. But what I really want to highlight is this ecosystem overview. In particular, this average daily dApp transactions have increased for the third consecutive quarter. dApp activity accelerated to 49% quarter over quarter increase in Q2, averaging 57,900 daily transactions. Check this out. And we're going to dig into this data, and I'm going to compare something on Ethereum, what was happening in Ethereum, early stage Ethereum. It keeps getting cooler and cooler. MinSwap, an automated market maker, was the most popular Cardano dApp by transactions in Q2, clearing 1 million monthly transactions in May and June, increasing 167.5% quarter over quarter. MinSwap surpassed leading NFT marketplace JPEG Store for dApp transactions. This aligned with an overall sectoral growth as DeFi activity rose and NFT activity declined. So check this out. This TVL increase is impressive in the face of ADA's price decline. So I want to really just echo that. I want to highlight that. TVL, the total value locked on Cardano, has been increasing while the price of ADA has been decreasing. If there is any indicator from a macro perspective, a fundamental indicator, that ADA is incredibly bullish for the next bull cycle, that is it. That is singularly the most bullish piece of data. Singularly, the most bullish piece of data. Total value locked is increasing. And look at this, 9.7% quarter over quarter to $151 million in Q2. And we actually go and we look at Cardano right now, $175 million. Again, total value lock increasing, ADA price decreasing. That just screams bullishness. The ecosystem is alive and growing while price is going down. From a macro value investor perspective, that is exactly precisely the thesis, right? It is to capture an undervalued asset like ADA while fundamentals are growing. And this all happening prior to the next bull cycle, right? We're not in a bull market and this is happening. This is in a bear market. This is in a winter environment. This is happening. Now let's dig even deeper, because it's talking about in this report, obviously it's talking about MinSwap, right? We're going over all these numbers and everything, but let's highlight MinSwap for a second. We go to Cardano, and it was talking about how Cardano or MinSwap really captured Cardano blockchain, right? You can just see if I zoom in here, MinSwap. There's MinSwap number 1 in TVL. Indigo, a close second, 38 million, but MinSwap 46 million total value locked as of today. I want to do something. Now, this is where we revisit these charts for a second and we really get an idea of where we are in the cycle. Remember, here we are, August 2023, very similar to September 2019. Let's go. I want to go over and look at Uniswap at this time period. Uniswap, September 2019. Because that's what we're comparing cycles from. We're comparing early stage Ethereum DeFi to early stage Cardano DeFi around a year or so prior to the next bull run. Look at Uniswap, which is an absolute massive giant on Ethereum right now. September 2019, $19 million total value locked. $19 million total value locked, September 2019. At the similar time frame perspective, from a cycle perspective, Uniswap right now, $3.65 billion market or total value locked was a $19 million total value locked. Right now, at the same part of the timeline, MinSwap is 46 million total value locked. All of the hints are there for us right now. And I did this from a more zoomed out perspective. Now we're zooming into particular projects. And I want to continue doing that as we grow into these cycles, into this next cycle. But what I'm saying is we already did this from a zoomed out perspective on Ethereum, right? We went to September 2019. I believe this was in a recent video, $400 some million USD total value locked. We go to Cardano. It's not 400 million. It's 175 million. I'm not expecting or even anticipating that Cardano is going to mimic exactly the growth that Ethereum saw. I don't think it actually will, right? And not in that velocity. I think over the long term, Cardano will increasingly capture market share, absolutely, and catch up in total value locked. But in this next cycle, I'm not saying Cardano is going to repeat exactly. So the very fact that Cardano is a couple $100 million or so, a few $100 million behind total value locked in Ethereum at this aspect of the cycle, I think that's fine, right? And so I think you can see these numbers, right? $175 million total value locked. At this time, last cycle, Ethereum around 400, 500 million. But then when we start digging into these projects and we look at Uniswap at this time last cycle, around 18 million total value locked, and MinSwap, a comparative DEX, 46 million, that just screams to me opportunity. Now, what happens over the course of, leading into the next Bitcoin halving and into even the next bull cycle, which in the last cycle was, post the Bitcoin halving, so months after. So we could be looking at all the way over here, end of 2024, before the next bull market even starts. What happens, right, in the next year? What is this going to look like for Cardano? I'm not exactly sure in price, right? We speculate. I do price videos a lot, and I'm going to continue to do so. But what I will say is fundamentally, it's very clear what's happening with Cardano. And fundamentally, in terms of DeFi growth, what happens here is I think Cardano is going to continue to grow, especially as ADA, whether it comes down a little bit, we start going up, we're sideways. As ADA price truly just consolidates on the macro and gets ready for the next leg up, the velocity in which Cardano DeFi is going to grow is going to be insane. It is going to be an epic ride. And it's going to be, I think, a very similar reflection of what happened with Ethereum DeFi in the last cycle. I'm not, again, saying it's going to be exactly the same in terms of the amount of value captured, but I think it's going to be very similar in terms of the speed of it, the excitement of it, the velocity of it. And that's something I'm looking forward to in Cardano. I want to just say that, obviously, and I have to always say this, there's no guarantees that this will happen. But as we kind of go through just all of this data, and we've been covering this for a while, I've been saying for a while, imagine when Cardano starts doing what Ethereum early stage did, right? Projects start coming online. I've been saying that for a while. Many of you have been saying it and thinking that and waiting for it. But now it's actually happening. And the comparison is, it really screams in your face. And I can't say I'm surprised, but it really is a powerful reflection, a very similar reflection of what's happening right now. And I'm going to continue just highlighting these reflections as they come. And this one was kind of a Uniswap, MinSwap. This was a reflection of the DEXs, early stage, before that cycle in the last bull market for Ethereum. Cardano showing a very, very similar kind of picture. So let me know your thoughts, everybody. I really appreciate you. This is kind of getting exciting. And this is in the middle of just this, you know how the charts look. You know where we are in crypto cycles. It's tough to even look at crypto as exciting right now. But if you really dig into the data, there's really cool data. And I really appreciate all of you watching. Please hit the subscribe, hit the like. I'll see you all in the next video. Have an awesome start to your week. God bless.